All right, Shalom, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, teaching us his truth. Salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquatham. And listen, may the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Raquai. I'm back in here with another quick and Lord's will is always an edifying lesson. And for today's lesson, I kind of wanted to go through this quick article in regards to Trump. It says Trump admits Americans might feel pain from tariffs in Truth social media post. So I'm reading this article on Newsweek, and it says President Trump admitted that Americans might feel the pain from his newly imposed tariffs on Mexico, Canada, China in a post on his social media platform. So it says, will there be some pain? Yes, maybe, and maybe not, right? So he's going back and forth, right? He's double-minded. It says, but we will make America great again, and will it all be worth the price that must be paid, the president wrote in all caps. So he says, okay, so here it says lower down, it says, historically, countries have used tariffs for various purposes, including national security, protecting jobs, generating a government revenue. However, modern trade agreements have reduced their prevalence, and as many economists say, they tend to disrupt global supply chains and increase consumer prices. It says, with these new tariffs, Americans can see higher prices on a range of goods, from produce to alcohol to auto parts. Kimberly Klausing, an economist and a professor at the UCLA School of Law, previously told Newsweek even high tariffs could only replace a minority of the revenue raised by income taxation, and high tariffs would cripple the economy, right? So it's, so the mindset behind it is essentially to, Trump wants to put their economy, their items first, right? So say, for example, Canada is supplying, let's just say, for example, Canada is supplying t-shirts, and the t-shirt is $10 here. When it crosses the border, including that 25% tariff, so 25% of $10 is $2.50. So $2.50 plus 10 is $12.50. So now the t-shirt costs $12.50 in the U.S. Now, buying that versus maybe buying a t-shirt that's probably, $8.50 in like a local made, for example. It could be local made. The local made t-shirt would probably be $8.50, for example. Americans, that's the idea behind it, really, is to essentially have the Americans kind of forced to buy their own products. Now, the problem with that is that not all those products, some of those products that, that Canada might be supplying might be in very shortage, and people wouldn't have enough money to essentially, buy some of those items. So, Trump is essentially, okay, he's trying to, what Trump is really trying to do, it seems like it's good, but it ends up hurting his own people in the long run, especially you Israelites, right? And because a lot of our people, they thought, he's going to bring about a new change. He's going to do this. He's going to heal Babylon. Then the scriptures say that, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. If, right? So we know, Trump is not going to heal Babylon, but, it leaves you Israelites really in a predicament where you think that, Trump is really for you, but it's really going to be, he's really just for your detriment, right? And secondly, you're not even supposed to have a guy, yeah, somebody who's not of your own nation ruling over you. So I want to get those couple. Well, there's more to the article, but I kind of just wanted to make a couple points, right, and kind of go over to the scriptures. So let me start off with the first precept I have here. Just bear with me. This is this is Proverbs chapter 25 verse 19, and it says, confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint, right? So you see how useless those two items are, in the time of trouble, right? So he's saying that, these you're gonna feel some type of pain, right? You're gonna feel some kind of discomfort, right? And you really and truly, people run on the idea, especially Israelites. Like I'm mostly focusing on you Israelites. You Israelites, in America, you're running on the idea that he is going to take away the pain, but he is not going to do such a thing, right? He's going to cause you more discomfort. And now, as you can see, his fruits are going to manifest in the next few weeks, when the terrorists actually come into full effect. When you do not have the items that you need, whether it's at the grocery store, when you're looking for certain parts for your vehicle or things for your everyday use, you're really going to start feeling that discomfort, right? And you put your trust in this man who's supposedly going to take away your comfort, and now it's manifesting that he is just bringing upon you discomfort, right? So let me go to, because I made an earlier point in regards to having heathens ruling over you. So let me just get that. This is Deuteronomy 17 verse 15, and it says, actually I'll start at verse 14, and it says, when thou art come into the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are round about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, which the Lord thy power, Yahweh, shall choose, one from among thy own, from thy brethren, thou shalt set a king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother, right? So you're not supposed to have this guy, some, heathens ruling over you. Why not? Because the heathens don't have the mind, the heathens don't have the mind of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They don't have the principles, they don't have the morals, they don't have the know-how on how to operate the mindset of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai upon the earth, right? They don't have that. It wasn't given to them. It was only given to the children of Israel, right? That's why you're supposed to only have, people of your own stock, your own kin ruling over you, right? And especially in righteousness. So for example, like King David, was a perfect example of that, right? That's ruling over our people in righteousness, right? Trump is not ruling over you Israelites in righteousness, right? He's causing you, and he's going to continue to cause you a lot of more discomfort as time passes by, right? And we're just starting to see the effects of that, right? So let me go to the book of Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1, and it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk down into Egypt and have not asked my mouth, had strengthened themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and put their trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? So modern day terms, you can equate that to our people going to the voting booth, going to, cast their ballots in the election. Now Trump is in office, and now you're starting to see the discomfort of what happens when you put your trust in Egypt, right? When you're starting to feel the effects of your grocery bill, there are certain things that you can't receive. You're starting to feel the effects of what happens when you put your trust in somebody who does not think about the Lord. Just another quick one, Isaiah 36 verse 6, and it says, "Lo, thou trusted in a staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it, So is Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, of all that trust in him," right? So this is the mindset of our people. They think that Trump is going to offer some sort of better alternative, but they're just slowly being, deceived. You're just frogs that are just slowly boiling in the water until, you're fully cooked. Right, and now the temperature of the pot is slowly turning up, right? I kind of wanted to read this account here. I think it's 28. Just bear with me. This thing is a little bit slow. Okay, this is Second Chronicles 28 verse 16, concerning King Ahaz of Judah. So it says in the NLT, "At that time King Ahaz of Judah asked for the king of Assyria for help, and the armies of Edom had invaded Judah and taken captives, and the Philistines had raided towns located in the foothills of Judah and in the Negev of Judah. They had already captured and occupied Beth Shemesh, Aijalon, Gederoth Soko with its villages, Timnah with its villages, Gimzo with its villages. And the Lord Yahweh was humbling Judah because of King Ahaz of Judah, for he had encouraged his people to sin and had been utterly unfaithful to the Lord. So when King Tiglath-Pileser of Assyria arrived, he attacked Ahaz instead of helping him." Right, so now he's in a predicament, where he essentially needed help, but what he was doing, he didn't examine his own ways, right? He was doing things that was essentially displeasing to the Lord. And it says in verse 21, King Ahaz took valuable items from the Lord's temple, the royal palace, and from the homes of his officials, and gave them to the king of Assyria as tribute. But this did not help him. That's kind of like when our people are in a time of wrath, they think their riches are going to help them, right? And the scriptures say that riches profit not in a day of wrath, right? But righteousness can deliver from death, right? That's what it kind of reminded me of, right? Because a lot of our people are going to do that also, and think that, like, a lot of our people who are more well off and might think, they have a little bit of substance. Like, for example, I saw this article with Travis Scott, the rapper, and he had bought some kind of it was like some kind of Hummer looking vehicle, like one of those natural disaster preparedness type of type of vehicles. Like it's equipped with like all these different features, and it's like a really big vehicle basically, right? And in the time of the wrath, it's not going to do you any good, right? So you can see the amount of wickedness, I should say, this guy has capitalized, But that just immediately came into my mind, because Jake would think that they think that they have all this earthly substance, that they might think that they can essentially escape from being helped in a time of wrath, right? But that's not the case. This is verse 22, and it says, even during the time of trouble, King Ahaz continued to reject the Lord, right? So that's really the point, because he was in a situation where he was being distressed on every side, and he kept waxing worse in his wickedness, right? And that's the sentiment. It really is the same, when you think about our people. They go on to continue to do worse in their wickedness, and they don't consider, and that's another thing also, they don't consider help from the Lord. They don't think about until it's really, really like time to, until like it's really, really, they're really like their foot's really on their neck, then that's when they're going to start remembering the Lord, right? But when things are very, I guess, peaceable, comfortable, so to speak, the Lord is essentially not in their thoughts, right? As a matter of fact, let me get this in, where is it? This is Hosea chapter 5, verse verse 15, and it says, I will go and return to my place until they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early, right? So only in the time of they're really feeling afflicted, then they're going to start thinking about the Lord. But that time is going to be too late, because once you don't see the prophets on the highways and byways, that's pretty much the Lord's mouthpiece, the Lord hands slowly kind of like being withdrawn, right? Like the wisdom is crying on the streets now in this time, right? But Jake takes the opportunity to mock and scoff and so on and so forth. So that's going to be their shame, right? So anyways, I kind of just wanted to read that. I didn't read the whole article. I kind of just wanted to pick out a couple points here and there. I thought it was very interesting, that Trump was saying that Americans are going to feel some pain. And that's when you're going to have a lot of Egyptian against the Egyptian too, because you're going to see, a lot of turmoil in between those who did support Trump, and they're going to feel like, oh man, I want a guy like Biden back, I want a Democrat back, you don't want this guy in office because he didn't promise to do what he said he was going to do, right? So there's going to be a lot of division amongst the people, right? So anyways, I'll leave it there, but Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. Just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Until next time, I say Shalom.